one question that we ask all guest speakers, and then we will stop recording and go into Q&A. So I know Aaron for many years. I want to say at least 4 or 5 years. Aaron is a fellow veteran. He's a Marine, and he works at a nonprofit organization called a Veterans Bridge Home. In fact, I met him today. Really cool guy, down to earth, not the typical Marine that's portrayed in Hollywood movies or, any sort of negative connotation that Marines may have. The best thing about Aaron is he truly cares about people, especially our veterans, and he goes above and beyond. There's a lot of work that Veterans Bridge Home does that can take a mental and emotional toll on oneself when people are helping others. It's just as if a counselor or a psychiatrist is helping others who are going through emotional challenges or mental challenges. Those people also need help. And he does this day in, day out. He has a smile that can be seen from a mile away and a genuinely good heart. This guy is very humble, but he's very, very well connected in the Charlotte area, both on the corporate side as well as on the political side. As many of you know, I share the email addresses and the LinkedIn links to our guest speakers on our Thursday email. So if you ever want to connect with them, look at your email that I sent on Thursdays, and you will have their email address and their LinkedIn URL that you can connect with. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Aaron. If you don't mind doing a small introduction of yourself, Aaron, and then if you can go into just sharing one piece of insider knowledge that many job seekers might not be aware of, but would find incredibly helpful in their job search. And then we'll open it up for Q&A.
Okay. Well, I think you got the intro down. I don't know if I need to add anything else. And the smile that can be seen from miles away. I think that's actually a shiny head because I don't have that head of hair anymore. That's what you can see from miles away. It actually blinded the space station recently. But happy to be on the call. And one of the tidbit of information. And I'll share this with you a little bit more in the presentation, is when you're going through an application for a role that says this is required, management prefers. In the Charlotte market and some of the other bigger markets, you better have the preferred. And I can explain a little bit more about that based on my experience at Atrium Health, now Advocate Health, which is, I think, the 5th largest healthcare system in the entire country. Does that work? Ready to roll into it? Good to go?
Yeah,
Miles?
sure.
Thumbs? Okay.
Let's stop recording or do you have a presentation, Aaron?
I'm just going to click through a couple of websites just to show people what I'm talking about.
Sure. Are you going to share your screen?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So we'll keep the recording going, Jimmy, and then we'll stop the recording once he's done.
All right. Okay, so what you can see up here on the screen, this is Atrium Health. Atrium Health is, call it subordinate of Advocate Health, which again is a very large healthcare system that's in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and I think we're getting close, or they are getting close to Alabama, and they also recently spread out to the Midwest in Illinois and Wisconsin. So large organization. In my previous capacity there, again, I was primarily focused on military and veteran engagement. So that's everything from talent acquisition to retention, engagement programs, community service, again, more specifically related to military members and veterans. And that work shifted between different departments inside HR. So initially in workforce engagement, so how we engage with our employees that are military and veteran and their families. And then we moved over to talent acquisition. So I started to learn a little bit more about the talent acquisition process, and then shifted into DEI. So I was a HR program manager under diversity, equity, inclusion, got certified as diversity manager, got to do some more fun stuff there. And then final shift there into an HR senior or HR strategic business partner role, where we were talking about people engagement and moving them around inside the system or increase, decrease size of the system. So while I was in the talent acquisition space, again, quite a bit of focus on military and veteran candidates. What we were challenged with some of the veterans that were applying for roles is that they would read a job description, say, I can do that, not look at not look at what the requirements of the role were. Unfortunately, so they're reading the duties. You know, like, oh yeah, I can do strategic leadership. Yeah, I can do regulatory compliance. I can do oversight. And then kind of skip over this little part right here, the education and experience. So you can see bachelor's degree required, advanced degree preferred, and it gives you that list. So what would happen is you'd have a candidate that would apply, and they would get automatically rejected because they didn't have this stuff, right? So if you don't have that bachelor's degree requirement, that's an obvious knockout. So what we had in the applicant tracking system was a series of questions. So you're going to load up all your information into the application program, the application tracking system, and then once you finish loading it, it would ask you usually 7 to 10 questions. That's based off of this information under the education, experience, skills, qualifications, certifications, etc. So it's a, does applicant have bachelor's degree? Yes, no. And then the manager, hiring manager, would assign a point value, 0 or 1. So if the manager cared about it, they would assign the number 1 to that question. If they didn't, it would assign a 0. And then, you know, if there's an advanced degree preferred, they would assign a 1 to that as well, because they wanted to get cream of the crop as it related to these degree programs. So what would happen though is once the hiring leader said, hey, talent acquisition, I want you to post this position. I want the position advertised for 2 to 3 weeks. And I want you to send me the first 15 to 20 applicants that come in with management preferred qualifications. Okay. So if you're applying with a bachelor's degree, the talent acquisition person was likely to overlook you, even if you were the first person to apply, because they're looking for management prefers. So if you didn't have that advanced degree, you're not in the candidate pool. And then the speed at which this takes place. Talent acquisition within Atrium Health, when they were just 75,000 people organization, they would usually have on average around 3,000 to 4,000 positions open throughout the year that they're constantly rolling through. And each talent acquisition person, there's about 40 of them inside the organization, would have on average 80 to 100 positions that they were responsible for. So once that assignment came in from the hiring leader saying, hey, advertise this role, I'm looking for 20 people under the management prefers section, send me those applicants as soon as you get them. That's exactly what talent acquisition was looking for. So they look for that 20 and they send the 20, they're done with that job requisition as fast as possible. So here you are on day 3 or 4 of that position being open, you're not even in the candidate pool. And more than likely you're in the black hole of HR, because unless you're bot rejected, you're more than likely just going to get overlooked. And then the hiring leader is like, hey, talent acquisition gave me my 20. That's what I asked for. Now I'm going to roll through and see who's got the best education, experience, certification. Who can I get onboarded as fast as I possibly can, because I need people doing this work. So that's where I was talking about speed to application. So if you look at LinkedIn, this is the RN Navigator position up in Winston-Salem, or High Point. The position was advertised 1 day ago. So you're more than likely, if you're going to apply for a role like this, to be able to get into this, if this is a position that you're looking for. So again, speed is of the utmost importance, particularly in this time and environment with the administration changes happening all over the place, people losing positions at the federal level. They're now shifting back to state level positions. So the competition is going to get really, really fierce, really fast. And it's going to take a little bit longer for the systems across the United States to be able to catch up, and then also be able to deal with the influx of a whole bunch of people that are ready to have positions, and they're going to be competing with you for some of these roles. So speed to hire is extremely important. The